Wa Fuma Tv nenda kugeithia haria hothe uri na ndakwamukira thiini wa ceceni ino ya Fuma Tv kuria tugaga ni kirathimo ni mwihoko wakwa ati uri gutindia thayo na niratwamukira na njira iria yagirire maritwa makwa ni Wanjiru wa Wambugu thiini wa metha ya mohoro ya hwaini wa umuthi ngikuhaririria kana ngikurehera maria makoretwo makihanika thiini wa bururi uyu witu wa Kenya. Karibu sana nigetha tugitwarane hamwe nawe no ngikienda kwaraniria hamwe na ithui na njira ya thimo. Namba itu ya thimu ni 0733288161. Ningi ni tukoragwo na rurenda rwa Facebook kuria twikiraga mohoro maitu me live koguo twina rurenda rwa Fuma TV ni kirathimo mwena-ini wa Facebook na ni wega muno ngatho cia mwanya nira makoretwo makinyitanira hamwe na ithui thiini wa rurenda ruu rwa Facebook imwe kwa imwe thiini wa mohoro ma hwaini wa umuthi. Mutongoria wa bururi Ndagitari William Ruto ni anyitete mbaru ikinya ria mutongoria wa mung'ethaniro Raila Odinga thiini wa kampeini ya kurugamata mutongoria wa urumwe wa Afrika. Mucemanio uyu uma thiini wa thingira wa iregi atongoria angi a mabururi manja ta Samia Hassan wa Tanzania, Mohamed Ali wa Djibouti gatagati ka angi aingi ni megwikinyitie.
Our East African region, which is home to more than 500 million people, rightly considers this moment to be its turn to offer leadership on the basis of the principle of inter-regional rotation. I am encouraged of regional and broader international context of our Pan-African moment. These challenges range from political instability and associated governance issues, conflict and insecurity together with related humanitarian tragedies, cross-border and international crime, including various forms of illegal trafficking in drugs, arms and persons. Others include climate change, whose effects have trapped many countries in the difficult place between extreme drought on one hand and devastating floods on another. Equally encouraging is our firm shared understanding that this context is incomplete if we do not pay attention to the global implications of an African continent that is undeniably on the rise, powered by an unprecedented demographic dividend and equally incomparable endowment of natural resources, including critical minerals and renewable energy potential, which are vital for a future that is going to be underpinned by sustainable green growth. Our Pan-African moment, ladies and gentlemen, must be defined by the transformation of our collective capacity to solve our various crises and turn our potential into engines of sustainable growth and inclusive prosperity for present and future generations. In other words, the time has come for Africa to radically recalibrate its institutions to effectively facilitate growth and development across a broad range of spheres, thereby enlarging the field of possibilities of our nations and also our peoples. To seize this moment, we need an African Union that can coordinate, oversee, and drive important continental agenda in a manner that brings Agenda 2063 onto the fastest delivery track. This will be an AU that is empowered with adequate diplomatic, security, governance, financial, technological, and even ecological leadership, and a management capacity to steer us rapidly beyond the sustainable development goals to Africa that we all want for the benefit of every nation and every African citizen. The feeling that Africa is ripe for this historic moment of radical transformation is shared by all our people and all our friends. Nothing stops us from moving into the necessary gear to claim our destiny, and this is why institutional reforms at the African Union are fundamentally essential. This understanding of the monumental possibilities before us and the urgency of our historic moment was underscored here in Nairobi when, at the close of the inaugural Africa Climate Summit, the continent's leaders announced a new transformative agenda under the Africa Leaders Nairobi Declaration on Climate Change and call to action. Therefore, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I know that Honorable Raila not only possesses the requisite credentials, but he is also the ideal candidate to lead the Africa Union Commission. Accordingly, Kenya endorses his candidature unreservedly, and we commit wholeheartedly to support his candidature, his vision, and his leadership. He embodies extensive experience and a deep understanding of both African affairs and global dynamics, which are crucial for leading the Africa Union further into the center of global affairs and closer to the hearts of the African people. Excellencies, I present to you a visionary Pan-African, a bold and wise leader, a professional and technocrat, as well as a towering statesman and a veteran mobilizer for positive change. I am confident that he will give his utmost and do all it takes to make Africa proud and Africa powerful. I think the lion story is apt. To assist in making the case for Honorable Odinga's candidature, I also unveil the Secretariat, which will be led by Kenya's Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary, Orisingwe, and Ambassador Elkanah Odembo. It will also include a diverse membership drawn from 5 regions of the Africa Union. The assignment we are called upon to undertake at the Africa Union Commission is the work of all Africans, for all Africans, and a noble cause to bring our peoples and nations in touch with the promise of the glorious future we all deserve. A new chapter in our common journey has begun. We shall travel on this road to freedom and democracy, stability and security, peace and prosperity with all our people, all our leaders, governments, and with all our partners throughout the world. And I'm happy that the global community is represented here by our ambassadors. We take this assignment very seriously, and we have entrusted it to our most capable steward. On behalf of the people of Kenya, I wish the Honorable Raila Odinga success as he makes his case to be elected as the chairperson of Africa Union Commission. I am highly indebted to each and every one of you, heads of state, leaders of delegation, and friends, for taking part in this historic event for Kenya, for East Africa, and it's my prayer that the Honorable Raila Odinga will be elected the chair of the Africa Union Commission.
Munini wa mutongoria wa bururi Ndagitari Rigathi Gachagua na itua riu ria mutongoria wa mung'ethaniro akiuga Afrika ni yagirirwo ni gukorwo na mutongoria wina umiriru ta ucio. Atha Mwaura eno horo makiria.
What a day, what a moment. We are here, Your Excellency, as a country to unveil Kenya's finest to go and lead Africa. It's a proud moment for this country. And I want to say, Your Excellency, the people of Kenya have been united to a man by the candidature of the Right Honorable Raila Odinga to be the chairperson of the African Union Commission. This is a quest that has brought pride to our nation. And I would like to tell the leaders here from Africa and the representatives that as a country, as we present the Honorable Raila Odinga to be our candidate, it is because Africa, our motherland, deserves the best. The passion and zeal of the Right Honorable Raila Odinga in Pan-Africanism is well documented. Passion knows no age, knows no limit. In the person of the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, he'll join the ranks of Jomo Kenyatta and Kwame Nkrumah in pushing the agenda for Africa. I therefore want to say, Your Excellency, the lessons of today are that Raila Odinga, the Right Honorable, is a man of great resilience, endurance, and perseverance. Today, you are going to unveil the transformation of the Right Honorable Odinga from a national leader to an African statesman. And for us in leadership, we have learned great lessons of resilience, endurance, and perseverance. Somebody may ask, why is Rigathi Gachagua, who has before had issues with the leadership of Raila Odinga, as a truthful man, had nothing against him. It's only that we were competing for the same position between him and my boss. Now that he is going for a bigger seat in Africa, all of us, from the President, I, and the rest of Kenya, are behind him. And the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, as a man who listens to the ground, let me confirm to you, I've listened to the ground, and all Kenyans across the political divide, across communities, are in support of your candidature, and we wish you well. Before I call Your Excellency, let me acknowledge the place of family, not just in our lives, but in leadership. I think it is a great moment for the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. It's appropriate that I acknowledge on behalf of the country the role Mama Ida Odinga has played in the life of this great son of this land. Mama Ida Odinga, we salute you as a country for having been a very strong pillar to your husband in very difficult times, and his lowest moments, you have always been there for him. We ask families to support their spouses. So Mama Ida Odinga, as we wish you happy birthday, it is my hope and prayer that your next birthday will be celebrated at Addis next year. And if you invite President William Ruto to come and he's not able to come, Mr. President, I'll be very happy for you to send me to represent you in that great birthday. We therefore want to say, as a country, this is a great moment. And Right Honorable Odinga, I have noted with a lot of appreciation, my wife, Pastor Dorcas, who is a very prayerful woman, has been praying for me and the President daily. And I noted from yesterday she has added you in her prayer. And because her prayers work, we have no doubt that you will get this seat. Mr. President, it is now my honor to request you to come and anchor Kenya's finest and embark on the journey of transformation.
Na tukithie na mbere ni ati mutongoria wa bururi wa Tanzania niwe Samia Hassan ni athing'iriirie kuga ati Raila Odinga ni agirirwo ni kuheo giti kiu gia gutongoria Afrika. Samia augite thirikari yake ni nyitete mbaru Raila Odinga amukire utongoria uyu. Wa maitha wa Kamau eno horo makiria.
I wish to thank Your Excellency President Ruto for the invitation and for the exceptional hospitality accorded to me and my delegation. When we were establishing the African Union in 2002, Africa recalled the heroic struggle waged by its people and respective countries for political independence, human dignity, and economic emancipation. This collective recollection of the sacrifices by our forefathers remains the bedrock of which rests our shared ambition of the African Union. It is heartening to see the progress made by the AU since then, including advances in implementing Agenda 2063, rolling out of the African Continental Free Trade Area to enhance intra-African trade, and our Union's achievement of G20 membership, marking a significant step in Africa's global representation. Excellencies, despite the progress made, it is incumbent upon us to ensure that the AU remains firmly united and able to meet the noble goals we have set. In doing so, a number of aspects must be addressed. Topmost is completing the institutional reforms aimed at enhancing accountability. Related to this is strengthening the Union's capacity to silence the guns on our continent. In the same vein, the AU needs to drive Africa's development agenda by ensuring realization of its infrastructure development plans and connectivity. Globally, we must ensure that our voice, Africa's voice, heard loud and clear in global conversations. From climate change to a just energy transition, from development cooperation to fair trade, and from development of international law on artificial intelligence to global governance. It is with all this in mind that the government of the United Republic of Tanzania endorses the candidature of Right Honorable I'll repeat. It is with all this in mind that the government of the United Republic of Tanzania endorses the candidature of Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga for the position of Chairperson of the African Union Commission. Tanzania knows Odinga as Pan-Africanist leader who believes not only in the promise of African integration, but also in its practicality. He has maintained close relations with successive generations in Tanzanian leaders, as well as with many African leaders and partners who hold him in high esteem. He is well versed with the development concerns of our continent. It is based on his breadth of experience that he was charged with expediting Africa's integration through infrastructure development. Engineer Odinga knows full well what our union needs to do to meet the infrastructure development gaps critical to unlocking Africa's potentials. Personally, I know Baba Odinga, my kaka, not only as a wise statesman, but also as one who can make a strong case in advancing Africa's development priorities. As such, we firmly believe that he has what it takes to transform the vision of the Assembly into tangible outcomes for our people.
No tuthiete oro wega mwiroreri wa Fuma TV na ndirehoka mohoro maya ni maragukinyira na njira iria yagirire. Ukienda gutumenyithia undu urahanika hau hanyu nja wa hinahi, namba itu ya thimu ya metha ya mohoro ni 0733 288161 niyo kifungu mugwanja ithatu ithatu igiri inyanya inyanya imwe ithathatu imwe. Na tugithie na mbere ni ati mutongoria wa mung'ethaniro Raila Odinga niaugite niehariirie gutungatira gitaru kia Afrika wona aheo mweke ucio. Oho niaugite niegũtigĩrĩra ngwatanĩro ya nigukugia na ngwatanĩro njega gatagati ga atongoria othe a mabũrũri ma Afrika. Githurano giki gitanyitwo gwĩkĩka mweri wa kerĩ mwaka ũkĩte mwena wa Addis Ababa mwena wa Ethiopia. Wa maitha wa Kamau nowe wina ripoti ino.
Certainly the story of Africa is not all gloom and doom. Thanks to the work Your Excellencies are doing, Africa has been on an upward and positive trajectory in recent years. In February, the African Development Bank reported that Africa will account for 11 of the world's 20 fastest growing economies this year. The continent is set to remain the second fastest growing region after Asia. I deeply appreciate your efforts in restoring hope on the continent, and it is my wish to have a chance to complement your efforts as AU chairperson. Excellencies, throughout my leadership and service to the public, I have noted the significance of defining strategic goals and appreciating the influence of political dynamics on the outcomes of these goals. So decision-making must be backed by a balance between policy and geopolitics. I plan to work with you, Your Excellencies, to integrate this continent. You are one people who unfortunately are trying too hard to separate from each other. I have traveled the length and breadth of this beautiful continent, and I have seen the faces of Africa's future. I was involved in peace negotiations in Burundi with Mwalimu Nyerere. I was involved as a mediator of the AU with the conflict in Côte d'Ivoire. I was involved in Mozambique. So I understand the continent. And I see the faces of our children, full of hope and energy, and unbound by the borders of yesterday. I dream of an Africa where those borders and colonial languages no longer divide us. We don't want to see Africans to be divided as Anglophones, Francophones, Lusophones. I want them to be Africaphones. From the hills of Kenya to the deserts of Sahara and the Kalahari, from the lakes of Great Rift to the rainforests of Central Africa, from Indian Ocean to the Atlantic, Africa must be one. Its resilience and hope for a bright future transmitted to our young people. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, my selection to be Kenya's candidate is not about one man's ambition, but an African's journey to serve the motherland. Indeed, I plan to constitute my cabinet of chairpersons with a continental outlook. I'm grateful that friends and eminent persons across Africa have volunteered to engage in my campaigns from the West, North, South, Central, and of course, Eastern Africa. Excellencies, I'm ready to serve. My heart is ready and my hands are steady, and with your support, I shall get the opportunity to be of service to Africa, the cradle of mankind. I am made in Eastern Africa for Africa. I have said that I'm an Afro-optimist as opposed to Afro-pessimist. Afro-pessimists are those people who have given up on Africa, who say Africa is a lost cause, a wasted continent. But Afro-optimists are those people who believe in African development, that Africa can be developed with the efforts of the African people. This is what I believe in. I have come from the school that believes in the efforts of the founding fathers of our continent, those who were visionary, who envisioned an Africa that was united. Kwame Nkrumah, Ahmed Sekou Touré, Gamal Abdel Nasser, the late Emperor Haile Selassie, Jomo Kenyatta, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, Kenneth Kaunda. Those were some of the founding fathers of our continent, who believed that Africa will only develop if it is united. Nkrumah said that Africa must unite or perish. That is the school of which I'm coming. To be able to realize the dreams of the founding fathers, first we need peace on the continent. In 2013, they talked of silencing the guns. But in 2024, the guns are not silent on the continent. We will work to ensure that guns are silent so that we can be able to have a
igoti niriuritie kiama kia arutani bururi-ini gia KUPPET gitikire guteaniria mugomo wao nginya cira utuo mweri 5 mweri ukite. Mugomo uyu ni ucungiriirie gutharara kwa mathomo thiini wa macukuru ma secondary. Wachira wa Nduta eno horo makiria.
The Career Progression Guidelines is a document that was created purposely by the Teachers Service Commission to ensure our teachers stagnate in one particular job group. We want all our teachers who are serving in junior secondary, 46,000 of them, moguls Ria, moguls power, all the 46,000 JSS moguls must be confirmed on permanent and pensionable times. No confirmation, no school. No CBA, no school. No comprehensive medical cover, no. Ya mohoro maitu mahwaine wa umuthi ngatho cia mwanya ni njuma twamukira na ngatho nyitanagira hamwe na metha ya mohoro oro hwaine cihanda themwe nigetha tugakorwo tugikumenyithia maria marahanika thiini wa bururi ona nja wa bururi. Na nguririkanio ringi namba itu ya mohoro ungienda gutumenyithia undu wothe urahanika hau hanyu nio 0733 288 161 0733 288 161.